Hey everybody, I'm pretty sure you guys can all hear me. We just want to give everybody about 5 to 7 more minutes to join the room. We got about 200 plus organizations attending tonight. So we're just going to take about 5, 7 more minutes to let everybody join in. We got a couple different time zones. So just want to be courteous to everybody else. Just bear with us for a couple more minutes and we'll get this thing on the roll. Okay, people, we're taking about 3 more minutes to let everybody in the group. Then we're going to start the meeting, start the event, and get things kicking off for tonight. Hey, everybody, I'm going to ask if you represent a reentry organization, nonprofit, or if you represent any employment company and you're here to hire formerly incarcerated individuals, I'm going to ask that you put that organization or company inside the chat, just so we can get a picture of all the organizations that are here. That's if you're representing an organization and you have official authority to represent that organization. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Pleasure to meet you. We'd appreciate if as many of you can have videos on. If you can, if you can't have a video on, no problem, no biggie, not a big deal. Just want to get as social as possible here and make this event as good as possible. And of course, give everybody an opportunity to meet each other and get to see each other. We're gonna have a bunch of people still hopping on by the minute here, but we're gonna get these things started again. Definitely. Big pleasure to actually get to meet all you guys. I know when it comes to reentry, we don't really get to ever do anything like this unless it's in our town or, usually the city where we're from, the state where we're from. For this to be, right now, we have about, I see 70, I think 60 people in attendance. People usually run late. I'm sure you guys know that. So we're supposed to have over 200 organizations here tonight. We got Astor, Alta repping Elevate. We're going to see a couple organizations that we have. I see in the chat. So we got 32 organizations so far listed in the chat. And as I told you guys, 200 of these organizations, these are 132 reentry organizations. 40 of them are nonprofit. And then I think we have about 52 employers that will be in attendance tonight to hear about ConConnect, hear the people that we're going to have speak, on their ups and downs, their struggles, their stories. I've asked these speakers to come in tonight and really speak to you guys and not tell you guys a speech is going to make you guys just happy and have you guys leave with just good feelings. But I asked them to come tonight and really speak to you guys about the struggles they see in reentry, the struggles they see working alongside the formerly incarcerated, and then of course tell us the good that you see. Right? How can we prosper with that? But what we really want to focus on here is the bad. Right? How can we focus on the bad stuff we see in reentry? How can we make reentry more accessible to individuals nationwide coming home in all these different places? At ConConnect, we spend a lot of our money here on gathering data in different states. And what I mean by that data is in New York City, there might be 30 nonprofits that are offering services when a person comes home. So that's 30 different nonprofits they can go to versus in, let's just say, Ohio, or let's say Mississippi. In Mississippi, there's only four, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have sincere. We have a speaker from Mississippi speaking tonight, but I believe it's 4 or 5 versus New York City. There's about over 30 versus Texas. I'm sure there's over 40 reentry organizations in Texas. So reentry is scarce all over the place. Individuals are not able to access reentry when they first come home. And this is over 60% of individuals that are just not coming home ever using a reentry organization. They're getting employment, and if they're not getting employment, they're going back to the block or going back to whatever they chose to do, but it wasn't reentry and it definitely wasn't employment. We've learned that it's a small percentage of individuals that are getting the help. It's a small percentage of individuals that are staying home and actually handling themselves and what we call, they're going through their reentry the proper way that they should be. The majority is not. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to start off by telling you more about how ConConnect came about, a little bit about myself. I want to introduce you to the speaker that we're going to speak tonight, and then we're going to have a presentation. We've created a small skit for you guys. We're actually making a movie called The First 48, and what this is going to be is going to show you the first 48 hours of what happens when a person is released from prison. Because again, as we said, we collect data, and some of this data does show us that a lot of reentry leaders and a lot of people who work in reentry, over 70% of people who work in reentry or hold a reentry leadership position have no background to, meaning they've never been arrested or have nothing that connects them. They're just genuinely people that wanted to get into this field. And that's great work. But what makes that even better is when you have an understanding or you have a better knowledge and you work with somebody real closely that has that experience, that's been incarcerated, whether they've been incarcerated for 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20. You have to be closer to that person who knows the problem to really sort of fix the problem. So what we're going to do again, I think not everybody's here, but we got enough people in. Again, we're just going to start it from here, guys. This will be recorded for everybody who does come in late and who does miss it, or if any of you are just now coming in here, everything else will be recorded from the start. So again, pleasure to have all you guys here. My name is Andre Pitt. I'm the founder and CEO of ConConnect. And I just want to start off by telling you guys a little bit about me. So I did 5.5 years in New York State prison. I grew up in London for the first 11 years of my life. Came out here to New York when I was about 12, yeah, I think 11, somewhere between 11 and 13. But I came out here between the age 11 and 13, ended up in New York, was in a low income community. They call it the projects out here. So I grew up in the projects, in the Bronx. Then I want to say in my early teens, I was in through the Bronx, through Manhattan, then I ended up in Yonkers. When I ended up in Yonkers, I want to say for the most part, I ended up in like one of the roughest neighborhoods on the south side of Yonkers, which is called Highland Avenue. And yeah, being over there was rough. I got into gang culture. I got into drugs. Started using drugs. Started selling drugs. Started doing a lot of things that I should have never been doing at a like very young age. At like 19, 20, I caught multiple cases, 7, 8 felonies, and and just kept on beating these cases, getting lucky, and felt unstoppable. And it was one day, and I'm going to be very transparent on who I am here. It was one day that ended up catching a violent crime for attempt murder, and ended up really hurting somebody really bad. And I ended up going to state prison behind this for attempt murder, for drugs. And what I got was a 5 to 8 year bid. And out of that, I did 5.5 years. So I did 5.5 years in the state prison, did every day of my time because I maxed out from getting tickets. So what I'm trying to get across is I was one of those roughest people that you would see, one of those the roughest people you're going to see coming home from prison, that your reentry organization is looking to help. Right, I'm one of the people that don't have the drug case. I didn't just have a minor case. I went to state prison for a crime closest to the one of the worst crimes, which is murder. And I say that to you guys so you can see exactly how this is going to play out tonight. So that's why I went to prison. Coming home from prison for me, what I learned was a lot harder than being in prison. That 5 years in prison was stable. What I mean by that, it was structured. Rec at this time, programs at that time, schooling at this time. And that's just how life went for me in prison. It went like that for 5 years straight. When I came home, it wasn't like that. New York State Prison gave me $40. They gave me a Metro card, told me to report to parole in 24 hours, and that was it. So I had $40. I did 5.5 years in state prison. They gave me $40, told me to go to parole within 24 hours, and they gave me a sheet of paper that had a bunch of organizations on it. That was it. When I went to parole, the very next day, as they told me to, I went to parole, and it was sort of a very similar thing. It was she gave me another Metro card and another sheet of paper, and all this did was have stipulations, a bunch of rules, a bunch of the stuff that she needed me to do, and then what I was thinking was, how about everything that I need to do? How about I never met my daughter. My daughter's mother was pregnant when I went up to state prison, so I was meeting my 5 year old daughter for the first time. How about I wanted to take parenting classes to sort of learn how to do my thing with her. I also wanted to take I also wanted to finish school. Right, I got my through the higher education, the board initiative, which I think they're probably in attendance tonight. I was able to get my bachelor's degree in this New York State prison. So, I wanted to also advance my education. I wanted to take care of my daughter. But what parole wanted me to do was get anger management, get a job, get substance abuse treatment, and get myself out of the shelter that they placed me in. Within a certain time limit, or I was going to go to jail. And what we're here tonight to understand is not parole is not, they're not bad people. But what I'm trying to hit, what I want to get my point across is they told me what I needed to do. I had my own priorities and they started competing like any other person who comes home from prison. So here we go with competing priorities. Because now I got this $40. So what should I do? And how many job interviews can I really make it on with $40 and this one Metro card that they're going to give me? So my question to parole was, hey, when this $40 run out, is there like a way that you guys are gonna like help me or anything like that? Mr. Parrott, you can come here and get a Metro card every day that you need to go to one of these organizations so you find the right one. And I think they'll give you some Metro cards when you get there. I have some sheets of paper with some other services that you can probably find, and they give you lunch and soup kitchens here and there, and that you'll be straight. So that's how parole went for me. Literally, that's how parole went for me. I know you guys heard those stories before, and that was it. I walked out of there that day with those sheets of paper, and I was like, okay. And I started searching. As time went on, what everybody kept pushing in my head was, hey, Andre, make sure you get a job, make sure you get a job, make sure you get a job. For some reason, reentry was real big on Andre, get a job, get a job, get a job. So I said, all right, let me not get the reentry now, let me go get a job. So I did that, went looking for a job. I got denied. I had my bachelor's degree in sports science. I was trying to get physical therapy, anything. I got denied countless times trying to get a job. So I said, maybe I'm shooting too high. So I started shooting lower. Let me go try to get a little sales position somewhere. I got denied. I ended up getting a job at New York Sports Club in Manhattan, cleaning toilets. I was the janitor in New York Sports Club for about 4 months and said, okay, I got the job like they told me to. Let me look for this reentry organization because it took me about 3 months to get this job. So I ended up going to Exodus Reentry Organization, which is right here in New York City, to get healthcare. So they gave me healthcare, and then I was like, all right, cool. They had some programs there. Didn't really interest me, just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I left, and then I ended up going to another reentry organization. Don't even really remember the name, but the programs they had were similar to Exodus, so it wasn't what I thought. basically, I probably went down a couple of reentry organizations, started noticing that they all started basically offering me the same things. And these are not things like that I grew up ever wanting to do as a person. I maybe wanted to be a lawyer. So what happened with my mind was, after prison, am I only subjected to these five things that these reentry organizations are offering me, which is warehouse work, construction, or CDL, or something in this type of just some manual hard labor. I started feeling like, is this what I got to do now? And this is what all my friends are doing that have criminal cases or that have backgrounds. So I don't want to do this. Then moving forward, going into like month 6 of my reentry, I found this organization that I was working with inside of prison, called the Five Ventures, and they were a little different. What they did was they helped people with entrepreneur. If you wanted to start a business, they would help you scale your business, help you grow it, help you get some funding. So that sounded cool, right? That sounded good. It was like, they're gonna help you grow this business, give you some money, they give you mentors, you're gonna meet people. For me, that was really big. That was really good because I said, wow, this is I'm going to meet people that are not the people I know, because I never went back to my old neighborhood. I don't want to meet gangsters, no more drug dealers. I'm going to get to meet new people. And that's what they did for me. I met new people. I got a mentor. At that time, I just wanted to write a book. Can you help me with that? And they said, yeah, we can help you figure ways to get this published. Great. And that's where life sort of really started to tick for me, 6 months into coming home. And then book thing sort of went out the window. I still, they helped me get the book published, but that's not really that wasn't my focus. So one of the mentors at the Five Ventures one day told me, "Hey Andre, get on LinkedIn. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna fix up your LinkedIn account for you. You got your degree. I'm gonna fix it up for you. LinkedIn will help you get connected with jobs and employers." And I said, "Wow, great. This is cool. I never heard of it. Didn't have it before I went home." He said, "Yeah, good. Let's get you on here." And we did. So he got me on LinkedIn, got me all dressed up. It looked really good. I got 17 job interviews on LinkedIn. 17 to Harper Collins, different things. I either wanted to be in the writing or health industry, and I was getting those interviews. But this is what LinkedIn did for me again. It dressed me up and made me look real nice. When I got to the interviews and they had that opportunity to get that background check, I still got denied 17 times. These were legit jobs. These weren't jobs that were gonna have me scrubbing toilets. These were good jobs, and I got denied to all of them. So what happened with me that week, I went back to the homeless shelter, which I was staying in Brooklyn, and I was just in my bed one night on my phone on LinkedIn. I was like, this LinkedIn thing it's really dope. It's not like, Facebook and Instagram, people coming home and just looking for girls on that. I said, this is I can get connected on this. They got professionals, business, like any aspect. This is great. And then I thought deeper. I said, damn, what if they had reentry organizations on this that I can, write and stuff like that, and just get the services from? I looked at it and I was like, I'm finding them, but this is more like if I want to. It's not really catered to me trying to ask them for service. It looks like if I just want to find the people who work there. So my mind clicked and that light bulb clicked, and I said, damn, what if I make this all over again, but for people like me? So when they come home from prison, they can just get on this and then find these reentry organizations, these employers right away. Because this we're in month 8 of my reentry. Why can't these people find that in 8 days? And what we did with some data from there, we now I know is that 63% of individuals coming home within 30 days are having a cell phone. They may not have any type of money. They may still be in a homeless shelter like I was, but they have a cell phone, which I'm sure you guys seen. And that idea stuck with me from that day, but I didn't have any money to even build it. It sounded great. It sounded good. And what happened from there, I want to skip 8 months later. 8 months later, I was working at a different job at Equinox as a master trainer, making good money. First best job that I ever had, making that much money legit. Never looked back at my old life. Always kept ConConnect in my mind, and I saved up, 35,000. 8 months later, from working this job, and decided to build ConConnect myself. Decided to go to Define and say, this is what I want to build. This is what I want to do, and from there, I met a few people. 6 months down the line, I met investors, met other people. I met the Center for Black Innovation, which is an accelerator that also recruited me, brought me to investors that helped me build this platform out the way it is today, and as powerful as we still are building it. And I'm only 2.5 years being released from prison, and I'm here today presenting you guys ConConnect. We're fully invested in. I strictly made this not just for formerly incarcerated people to come home from prison and say, hey, it's a social network. They can find services easier. I made this because in those 8 months, I realized that reentry had a lot of flaws, and that these organizations, being transparent, had a lot of things that they needed to work on. And I also realized that a lot of things for me that were given to me were real old and real Stone Age. And when you give a person a piece of paper when we're in the age of 2020 and tell me to look for services, this is why I realized that technology didn't really make its way into the reentry industry. You have every other industry, all these businesses. I have executives from some of the biggest companies in the United States, and technology leads their way. Technology fixes everything that they do. Whether these companies are just, their bottom line is just to make money, technology is doing that. Whether they're solving an issue or whether it's social justice and they have a bigger objective like we do in this room tonight to really help these people coming home from prison and really employ them, then why isn't technology in the reentry industry making its way and helping reentry organizations scale better, find new clients that they're not finding in the streets through outreach, make their other clients get instantly referred to other organizations instead of waiting 2, 3 weeks, 3 days, when it can be as instant as sending a message on LinkedIn. The same way you do that, a referral can be that instant. Building a following, getting donors to support your nonprofit so that way you guys can stay afloat. We know we took, what I did was take everything. I've learned the nonprofit up and down. I learned reentries like the back of my hand and said, okay, I know everything that these guys need to scale, to be better, to grow. And that's what I did. I went to my team, the developers, and said, we're going to build this app and we're going to make sure it's powerful enough for 3 audiences. And these audiences are formerly incarcerated individuals, reentry organizations, and nonprofits that serve this audience, and employers. And we're going to make the platform so that employers don't have to worry about looking at backgrounds. They don't have to worry about what this person did, how much time they did. What they need to worry about on ConConnect is knowing that when they hire these individuals, and most importantly, they're engaging with these individuals in a social network style before even hiring. They're able to see what they're doing, what they're posting, which organizations that they're partnered with, what nonprofits they're working with, because we authenticate everything. But most importantly, they get to hire these individuals based off what they're doing, not what they've done. So it's not about what they've done. They're going to hire these individuals based off what they see them doing on ConConnect. When they see them working with 3 different organizations, taking classes on ConConnect and doing everything that's right, they're going to be able to hire based off that. They're not going to be able to hire based off criminal record, because at ConConnect, we show no criminal record and we don't ever ask for it either. So what we do at ConConnect is we present a questionnaire when people sign on, whoever you are, it's all optional. And the whole network is geared towards just advancing this industry. It's geared toward advancing the formerly incarcerated and making sure they can connect with you guys a lot faster, and that way that you guys can connect with them a lot faster. Moving forward into the agenda for tonight, we're right on cue. I'm going to finish up with this, and I'm going to go into bringing in a couple of speakers. And who these speakers are is I spoke to these speakers because these are different people that are all around the world, right? So I wanted to touch different parts of the world. I wanted to touch New York, Midwest. I wanted to touch the West Coast, and I wanted you guys to hear from reentry leaders around, what their struggles are, what they're facing, the ups and downs of reentry. I've spoke with these people personally. These people you're going to speak to, they've worked alongside me probably since ConConnect was just when this just first started a year ago, when this was nothing, when we had no investors, and I just didn't know if I was going to have all my $35,000 wasted. So tonight I'm going to definitely present to you 5 different people that are going to talk to you, tell you their experiences about reentry. 3 of these are going to be reentry leaders. 2 of these are going to be employers and people who worked alongside formerly incarcerated people for numerous years and have really major experience, and that I want them to really share this with you guys so you guys can hear this. And I'm going to start off with Sinetra Freeman. She's going to speak to you guys. She's from Mississippi. I don't know how much you guys know, but like I said, ConConnect is big on data that we will share with you guys through ConConnect. And Mississippi is high incarceration rate, a high release rate per year. But I'm going to let Sinetra Freeman tell you guys more about that. And Sinetra, you let me know if you're ready to talk.
I'm ready.
You're all good. So I'm going to give Sinetra Freeman the stage, and I just ask that you guys stay muted. We won't do any questions right after she's done. We're going to do Q&A all at the end of this presentation. Sinetra, you got the stage.
All righty. Hello, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you guys are. My name is Sinetra Freeman. I am the founder and CEO of Mississippi Center for Reentry. We are located here in South Haven, Mississippi, which is 5 to 10 minutes away from Memphis, Tennessee. I started this organization because I am a formerly incarcerated woman. I was incarcerated in Florida. However, what happened was I became my own attorney and I won my case. So no, I do not physically have a felony, but I did go through that process and I was detained for up to 5 months. But when I got out, because I received national attention, I was treated as if I had a felony. So what that means is when I filled out an application, I had to let them know that I was arrested, but I did not have a felony, and I got denied just because I got arrested. So I started this organization. I moved to Mississippi. I started this organization because I saw that there was a strong need here in Mississippi for reentry services. MDOC is I hate to say, is one of the worst places to be incarcerated at. I don't know how it is in other states. You do not get rehabilitated when you're in MDOC. When you get released, they do not give you any money to go home. If you're at the federal prison, you do get a bus pass to go home, but majority of those individuals are out of town, so they're not here in the state of Mississippi. We do not have a bus system up here in South Haven, so that makes it even harder for these individuals that are returning back to my counties that I'm serving. I do not serve the entire state of Mississippi. There are currently 5 organizations here. I'm the only one in Northwest Mississippi. There's one in Northeast. There's 2 in Jackson, and there's one down in the Gulf Coast. So I am more excited about ConConnect because just the idea of launching something in the technology world that's going to meet reentry and meet the needs of those who are formerly incarcerated is a brilliant and genius idea. For us here at MS Reentry, we were definitely going to be utilizing the e-courses because I'm very big on education. My staff, some of them are not formally incarcerated, but majority of them are. And I made sure it was that way because it is hard for them to get a job. And I wanted them to get something that was not a hard labor job. I wanted them to get something that was whatever it is that they wanted to do. So for those individuals that do not have a background and don't understand this space, the ConConnect courses will help me help them, prepare them to help my population that I'm serving. So one of the things that I'm seeing is employment. There is a lack of employment of employers who are wanting to hire someone who has a criminal record, whether it is a low level, whether it is a medium level, whether it's a high level. We just had a bill that just passed on July 1st that expanded parole eligibility for those individuals that have high level crimes, which is similar to what Andre spoke of. So ConConnect is going to help me find those employers who are willing to hire these individuals. I also feel that ConConnect will help the formerly incarcerated community because it will give them a safe space to be able to connect with like-minded individuals. I'm not saying that LinkedIn or Facebook is not a good space, but this is created by someone who looks like them, if that makes sense. This is a space where us as reentry organizations, as reentry leaders, as people who are formerly incarcerated can come together and can commute and talk about different things that we might be facing out here in our different spaces, in our different worlds. So I believe ConConnect is going to be a very good app for us here in the state of Mississippi because I'm trying to push it forward. We do not need to be the second highest state with the fastest incarceration rate, with the highest mass incarceration rate, and then we only have limited reentry services. That right there is a big gap, and ConConnect is going to help me fill that gap.
Thank you, Sinetra. Okay, we're gonna go next. So Sinetra is a reentry leader. The next person you're gonna hear speak is Jeff. He's the CEO of the U.S. Rubber Recycling Company in California. And he's worked alongside formerly incarcerated people for, I want to say, if I'm correct, Jeff, I think about five years directly, but a lot more than that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we've been doing our company for 20 years now, since early 2000s, late 1990s. And I joined the company just a little over 2 years ago. And we really ramped up our program and formalized it more back in the summer of 19, and we gave it a name, Bounce Back. And approximately 1/2 to 2/3 of our employees are ex-felons, and now we have a growing population of veterans as well, who also face employment challenges as well. Different perspective, same result, you know, hard to break in and gain opportunities. And first of all, I want to thank you, Andre, for sharing your story and congratulate you on how far you've come. That's really inspiring, and you're going to be a role model for many people. And there's no doubt, with your persistence and consistency and drive, you're gonna achieve your goals. So I want to congratulate you on that. What I would like to share, just going back to what you asked as an employer about what we run into, some of the challenges. Again, about 1/2 to 2/3 of our workforce are ex-felons. We've been doing this for quite some time. The first key thing for an employer is to create the right culture for ex-felons. They need a different culture from that of other employees. And what I mean by that is the challenges I see and I've witnessed over the last couple of years is, first, emotional stability and emotional maturity. Those are challenges for and life lessons, lack of life skills or life lessons, because oftentimes the folks that we're hiring during their formative years either were engaged in bad behavior or they were incarcerated. So they really lack these fundamental core skills that are needed to be employment ready. And so we want to make sure we've hired a counselor who has over a decade of prison industry experience to pre-screen when we interview folks, and then also be a resource confidentially for all of our employees to speak with when they have challenges in life where, how do I handle this situation? How do I deal with this matter? How do I open up a bank account? You know, whatever it may be, just the very basics that are needed to be successful in a career. And we all know that the economic stability is the core for everyone's success. Everything builds around that. And our experience has been, you know, we've hired we really don't spend much time at all looking at the past. We do believe everyone, just about everyone, deserves a second chance. We have not hired murderers, rapists, child molesters, or kidnappers. Other than that, we pretty much have it. We have attempted murder, armed bank robbery, assault and battery, drug trafficking, the whole gamut. And again, the past does not equal the future. And what we have found as an employer, this is a tremendous resource for us for skill, because I can give multiple examples of employees that we've hired. On paper, it makes no sense to hire. If you give them the chance, and they do have that emotional, they're at a point in their life now, they have the emotional stability, the emotional maturity, and they do have a few life lessons, and you know, and again, we can build upon that, and we have the resources to help them do that. And then they start thinking about team mindset instead of an individual mindset. Not so much it's all about me and I've got to survive, but rather, how can I become a servant leader or a servant role model to help those around me to bring out the best in others, and then ultimately bring out the best in myself. When we find people like that, and regardless of how they got here is irrelevant to us. And we look at the potential that they possess. And we also don't put limits on where they can go. So for example, our plant manager, our assistant plant manager, our second shift manager, all ex-felons. The plant manager's been here for 20 years, assistant plant manager for 15, second shift manager's been here for a little over 2. So as long as opportunities are available in the plant, if you demonstrate that you can do the work, you get the opportunity regardless. We don't give preferential treatment to ex-felons or veterans, but we don't treat them any different than anybody else. And it's been a wonderful, especially in the market we're in today, where it's hard to find talented labor. This has been a wonderful resource for us. And we probably work with about 6 either nonprofit or government-run agencies that, you know, prison to employment type things here in Southern California. We're located about halfway between Los Angeles and Palm Springs in the Inland Empire. And it's been a very positive thing for us. And I think in the end, the final challenges that we run into, without going into a deep dive into a conversation, is making sure that our employees, when they leave the office, you know, they have a goal.
I heard that, and so did the neighbors.
The big challenge that that we face is outside the work environment. So we really emphasize with our workforce, are you you know, the people that you engage with and the activities that you engage in, how do they serve your ultimate goal? Because if you're hanging around with the wrong crowd, we all know how the story is going to end. If you're diving back into drugs and alcohol, we know how the story is going to end. And just like you had shared, Andre, about trying to find new friends and hanging with a different crowd, it makes such an incredible difference by who you surround yourself with, both at work, and that's where you have the internal role models, and then outside of work, are you hanging around with the right crowd? So you're serving the goal that you ultimately want to achieve, whatever they may be, and typically is to become the best person that you can possibly be. And I'll leave it at that with our experience with second chance hiring and going forward.
Thanks. And yeah, Jen, thank you for the congratulations. As long as you know, I've been a big fan of what you're doing. Yeah, you guys hire a lot of people like me, and I know it's hard because if it's one thing I forgot to tell you, I came home on a work release program. They let me out, they let me out early, let me on a work release program. This is where when I had the shot and I had that job that was paying me, really weren't paying me anything. It was just really cleaning toilets. I lasted that job not so long before I really said, this is not paying me enough. I don't have enough money today. My daughter had asked me for her pancakes, and yeah, even get my for the pancakes. I couldn't afford to get it. I heard these pancakes were going to end up on the walking back to Berkeley. So I went back to Berkeley. Same day I went to sleep, and I said, you know what? I'm going to sell drugs. I got some drugs. I must have been in prison too long. I really came in the street too long. I got back up this week and went back to prison. It's a violation. Went back to prison for a whole 12 months, which is when I came back, and then I got back into the streets. Said I'm not going to do that again. But I still had a minimum wage job. It just took more ambition. It took a lot more ambition to really move forward and get past the early stage of those 3 months. And it's actually good. This actually goes really good because the next person is going to speak he's going to speak from
Andre?
an incarcerated standpoint.
Sorry to jump in, but we're getting a lot of feedback on your audio, like you're echoing.
Am I? Let me check.
Maybe if every
Yeah, I think, can everybody make sure they're muted? We'll double check on that. Okay, I think we should be good now. Yeah, we're perfect. Somebody was just not muted. All right, we'll keep this going. But yeah, just speaking on that. I went back to prison. So I know all aspects of how this reentry thing is. I came home, I went back, came back, stayed home this time, but this time I really had to force my mindset to really just keep going through, make sure I made the right decisions. And I thought even on the second time coming home, I said, I just didn't know the game. Let me just study the game a little bit. I'll get some drugs. I'll get this right. I'm gonna do this by myself. All my mind did was try to tell me, yeah, they told me stay away from criminal thinking, but my mind still told me to get into criminal thinking, just think a little bit better when you're thinking criminally. That's what my mind started to tell me, because that's still what I knew. That's still where my mind was at. And then these jobs weren't too expiring. These third services that I was being offered wasn't too expiring. And more importantly, just finding them was just, I didn't feel like it, and I gotta really speak here tonight and let you guys really hear from me, and hear from the audience, because you're not gonna hear this from some of the guys, but I didn't really feel like looking for the reentry organization. I had to, and this is one of my investors told me, it was one of the best points he heard me say was, well, with that $40, am I gonna really go to Defy Ventures and we'll get these services, or am I gonna go see my ex-girlfriend who wrote me all those letters and go spend time with her? It's competing priorities, but this is real reality. What am I gonna really do? Go chill with her, or am I gonna go to Defy Ventures and get my life straight? And yeah, we all know what's more important, but what is this person gonna do after 5, 10, 15, or 20 years in prison, right? Even if it's not going to see a girl, are they gonna use that $40 to really go to the service, and then the service ain't gonna tell them your life's gonna be changed in a week? It usually comes with a program that's 3, 6 months, a couple weeks long, which this is all worth it. The whole point is, what I really want to touch on is they got to make it there and see that it's worth it. And a lot of people aren't even making it there, which is why I created this thing as a platform to be on the phone, because I know dudes. So you hear social network, you hear it's just for me, you're gonna get on it, and then you're gonna go get connected. And even if you didn't purposely get on it to get connected to a reentry organization, the data shows you might bump into something that you're really fine, and then it's just that. But for the most part, people on ConConnect are gonna get connected because they want to be on there, because we really cater this around a professional network that's gonna just advance them. They're not messaging people on ConConnect. They can only message you guys. They can't message each other. They can only message reentry organizations. They can only message employers, but they can't message each other because that's what we didn't build the app for. But going into the next speaker, I'm gonna introduce Devon, and he's this is gonna be a good one. He's gonna really speak on his experience, his reentry experience, and how it was for him coming home and how it was for him now. So Devon, you here?
That's right. Thank you, Andre. I really appreciate it. I want to take the time out to thank you too for giving me the opportunity to step up and really be the head connector for the Southern District region. I also want to thank a lot of people who are on this call right now. I see a lot of familiar names and profile pics. So I want to thank you for being a part of this. This means a lot to me. For those who don't know me, my name is Davon Woodley. Everybody calls me Champ, all right? And I am a reentry advocate to the fullest extent. A little bit about me. Prior to being a part of ConConnect, I am a proud employee of CEO as a P2E facilitator and instructor. I've worked as a criminal community organizer and spearheaded the Close Rikers campaign. I've worked on Community Board 11 for East Harlem. I've also represented several countless other organizations in their initiatives to fight bills for raise the age, ban the box, ending solitary confinement, and even ending cash bail. I'm proud to say that next month I'll be home 5 years. I have been off of parole for a little over 2.5 years, and it's been so far removed. And I'm so happy to be on this call with so many other reentry advocates and social justice advocates and freedom fighters. And it warms my heart to know that all of you really want to see a change and make a change in reducing the recidivism in the United States. It really means a lot to me. So with that being said, I want to share my story with you. In the very beginning of all of this, when I was sentenced back in September of 2013, I served 2 years, 10 months, 25 days on a 4-year sentence. Prior to that, I had never had a conviction. I've never even been arrested, and I've always been a hard worker. I've maintained 2 jobs since graduating high school. No, I did not complete college at the time, but I had an extreme work ethic about me that was unmet or unmatched at 18, 19 years old. Fortunately, after being incarcerated, I found myself feeling very, very lost. Didn't understand what it meant to serve time, but I found a way by being a part of the IPA program, the Inmate Program Associate. It gave me the opportunity to really showcase my skills, because if I worked the program for 2 years, I get 6 months off my sentence. That was like my end goal, right? How soon can I get home to my family? How soon can I get to my young daughter at the time, right? Not revealing my age. But I wanted to know, what can I do to hurry up and get out of here as soon as possible? I became a facilitator. I then learned in orientation, which is individuals coming into the facility, as well as in phase 3, individuals leaving to go home. I really learned how important it is to encourage those to connect and reach out to individuals for help. I taught individuals, how to send letters to organizations. I learned how to reach out to specific outreach coordinators and peer advocates and different people who work in rehabilitation centers and programs such as CEO who deal with reentry and the workforce development, and Strive International and Exodus, and the list can go on and on. And one thing that I realized is how much effort it really takes for one person to sit down, write a letter, and before being released, figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life. Not a lot of people understand the amount of effort it takes to send a letter in the mail with postage to ask for help. It is the hardest thing you can ever do. We don't know what's on the other side of faith. We don't know what's on the other side of hope, but it's very important to know that there are people looking for all of you individuals for help. Here at ConConnect, we believe in connect, learn, and advance. That's my mission. That's my goal. And that's something I want everyone who becomes a part of this organization, whether they're a participant looking to connect with you or you looking to connect with them. How can we connect, learn, and advance? Upon my release, I wrote over 156 letters, I believe. I like having specific numbers, right? I did learn throughout that time that there was so much information, so many resources that I could have had access to that could have prevented me from going into incarceration, from things as simple as anger management programs, receiving help for therapy, to how can I find a job to where I don't have to work all these extraneous hours and develop a career or a trade or a skill. I had to learn that during my incarceration. There are so many who did not have that opportunity or still do not have that opportunity upon release. Like Andre, I was released with the same $40 and a bus ticket, right? I learned from that one experience how important it is to really value your freedom. Within the first week, I had my cell phone. And during that time of just being home without one for a short period, I felt so lost. I felt so I felt so helpless because now I depended on everybody for help. Hey, can I use your cell phone to make this call? Hey, can I go ahead and see if I can connect with this? Not everybody had that opportunity. We want to offer that opportunity for them to put the power back in their hands, empower them to really reach out to know exactly what they need, the services that they would like to receive. I had the fortunate opportunity of receiving a job within the first 2 weeks of me being released. That's work ethic. That shows that I really want this. Imagine how many more individuals upon release who receive a cell phone or have access to an app or a desktop or a laptop or a computer, whether it's stationary in a library, a family member's house, their loved one's house, and have access to all of you within the first 48 hours of being released. It was one of the most precious and important things to know that they could be greeted by someone they could trust to help teach them how to properly re-enter into society. I'm so proud of the 5 years that I have been released because I've learned and grown so much, and I'm so far removed from the time that I've served. But statistically, it still states that in the United States, it takes someone who, no matter how much time or how much little time they have served, 5 years to fully readjust and reacclimate back into society. How can we make that happen sooner? How can we make sure that individuals who are being released have the opportunity to connect with you with no hassle? How can, in other states, like the ones I've taken on, in southern regions, have access to proper transportation? Because that's one of the biggest issues they have. How can an individual have access to resources to help them with food, housing, and shelter within the first 30 days? Not 90, not 60, not the first year. How can we connect them to resources to get parole off of their back? Hashtag parole reform. How many times can we give them the chance and opportunity to really showcase what reentry looks like to them? Department of Corrections only did one thing for me, made me want to made me value my freedom even that much more. Because even though they think that they're correcting me, the lack of help and resources and access to these resources is what really set me back for a very long time. I would like to give access to everyone on this call. I would like to show people that we have the opportunity to really create change. I would like to see the recidivism rate for anybody returning from incarceration to go less than 1%. I believe that we can all work together and make that a possibility. What ConConnect, what drawn me to ConConnect is knowing that within within the same year that Andre was released, I was fortunate enough to meet him. Not once, not twice, but in the same circles. We were in passing in the 5 ventures. We met each other through various galas, fundraisers. We met each other at various speaking engagements. And I've noticed I'm not the only one with the same level of effort. I'm not the only one capable of creating an opportunity, not only for myself, but for others. Why not build a community of formerly incarcerated individuals to really showcase a community of support, of resources, of access? Connect, learn, advance. That's what ConConnect is all about. I'm not sure if I'm running out of time, but actually I got a few more. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. No, but thank you, Devon. I do want to say something. Yeah, I did meet Devon. I was gonna say what you just said. I met Devon at the 5 Ventures, and then we bumped into each other at, I don't know if other places do it. I think it was New York City has an annual barbecue they do for reentry barbecue every year that they do in the summertime. I bumped into him there. Then I bumped into another place. But yeah, what I noticed about you, since you said you noticed something about me, what I noticed about you is, he was working in reentry. He was working with the organizations that I was trying to seek, and he had just, I know he had a couple more years home, and but I was able to get advice from him. I was able to speak to him about certain things, and I'm only 2.5 years out of state prison. I'm only off parole for the past 3 months, and I go to Devon now. I called him 6 weeks ago, and I asked him because I look at him if he's been working in these reentry organizations for at least for a couple years now. So he's the people that they would say I need to speak to. I call him, I ask him for relationship advice, right? Because he's a mentor at the organization he works at. I call him, I ask him for life advice, and I speak because I know to this day this is what people need to be doing, right? It's quick access. I need to be able to connect, and I'm connected with Devon. Going into the next person, Peter Harper, who's going to be the next speaker. He's one of the people that I first got connected with. He's I think he's my first mentor they gave me when I told him I wanted to build ConConnect. I had mentors at Defy and other organizations that gave me, when I said, hey, I want to build ConConnect, I pitched, and it was Peter Harper who walked up to me after the meeting, and I presented it as LinkedIn for the formerly incarcerated. And I remember Peter walked up to me and said, LinkedIn for the formerly incarcerated, huh? I want to be a part of this. And I was like, yeah, in my mind, I said, yeah, I want you to be a part of it too, because I don't even know how to build this. And that's what I said. I don't even know, I don't even know how to get companies to get on board. I didn't know how to reach out to nonprofit leaders. This was maybe 6 months just being out of prison. I just knew that I wanted to build this app. And if we remember back to a year and a half, nearly 2 years ago, I sat with you, Peter, in a Starbucks, and we wrote the business plan for this app about a year and a half ago. And we thought this app out beginning as, all right, we're going to make this a platform for employers to be able to find formerly incarcerated people. Then we said, okay, we're going to make this platform for employers and nonprofits to find formerly incarcerated people. Then we say, you know what? This should need to be a whole social network where any reentry organization who offers services that can advance the formerly incarcerated and employers, we just need to get everybody that can help everybody in one place. And from there, over time, the vision just grew. And Peter's been with me since then, meetings after meetings, helping me grow it on the business side. And Peter will tell you today, he's always said, I may not be able to help you with the tech side. I may not be able to help you with this, but I can help you with what I can help you with, what my expertise, whatever expertise I can pass on to you, he's passed down to me. And there's been other mentors that I've been given that helped me in multiple different aspects I don't know if Lionel Church is in attendance tonight, but if he is, he's definitely one of my first mentors. And I just really need you guys to hear that. Again, it's really astounding to me sometimes that I've only been home 2.5 years and I've been able to get this company off the ground. We have over 200 reentry organizations on the platform that are going to serve the formerly incarcerated by midnight tonight. About 72 employers that are on the platform, whether these are small startups, some big companies, mid-sized companies. These are still people that want to do something and make a change. And this has been a year of me learning how to reach out to you individuals. Some of you individuals I've met on Zoom calls and talked to you about ConConnect, whether that was in the first month that we started reaching out to you or whether that was just last week. But I've gotten to meet over 100 of you reentry leaders in one-on-one meetings. And I know I won't be able to meet you guys all, but because we're, just want to let you guys know we're growing really fast. Every month we have over 20 to 30 nonprofits that are getting on here. And I just want you guys to hear that that's going to be a powerful thing. We're all going to be in one place. We're all going to be together. We're going to be one click away on our phone calls to offer referrals for our clients. We're going to be one click away for us to be able to say, hey, Devon told me he didn't want to get that warehouse job. He wanted a tech job. I'm going to go on ConConnect because I heard about those Elevate guys. They're on ConConnect and they got a tech boot camp, and I can just write them and get them. It's that simple. And you know what's doing this? This is technology, right? This is what we should have had months ago, years ago. I should have never came home and got a piece of paper. I should have came home and been directed. Parole should have told me about this app. And what I lead to say is to tell you guys today, I want to let you guys know what we're doing. And that's how we want to stay connected and be really, really close. So some companies don't do virtual launches, but I said, let's do this because we got to be closer in reentry. So for this, let's just make sure we're all together for this one. And what we're doing right now is we're talking to paroles in all the states we're in, and we're pitching to parole for ConConnect to be that thing. When they get home, what you tell them is ConConnect. When parole meets with these individuals, it's the moment that they see their clients with a phone, you don't give them a sheet of paper anymore. You don't tell them to go bounce around whatever state they're in. Don't tell them to go get a Metro card. You tell them to get on ConConnect, make a profile, and when they make this profile, everything that they need will be on there. You don't tell them to go get mental health, anger management, a job, and that organization might have mental health but not have anger management. So that's a referral that takes 3 weeks, and then he still needs a job, but he can't go get the job because he don't got a Metro card no more. It's too much. So with technology, we're going to see a lot more change. And again, I'm going to bring Peter Harper into the call now, and let him tell you guys his experience, who he is. I let you guys know who he is. To me is important. I don't know if I'll tell you that all the time, Peter, but you're important to me. You're the reason that big part of the reason that I'm here today, being able to talk to these people, the CEO of this company, that I meet, and investors to this day. You're a big part of that. So yeah, definitely want to introduce Peter Harper. Let him take it from here.
Thanks, Andre. Right back at you. I've learned more from you than you have from me, but I think the reason, I'll keep it brief, because one of the reasons I suspect Andre might want to have me speak is because I, in many ways, come from a completely different world from him. And so the way I look at things is I've worked in media for 30 plus years. So I'm just, who can I hire? Build teams with, what are the qualities that are important? And are there places you can go where it's not the usual group of folks that you might hire? And over my years, even before I met Andre, I realized that attitude, you can train skills to a large extent, but attitude, kind of either there or it's not there. It's very tough to change that in a short period of time. And my experience with Andre and with Defy was this unusual realization that for people who go through great struggle and make it out the other side, there's a significant resilience that gets built, good attitude, optimism, collaboration. And those were qualities I continued to see in every Defy meeting. I went to a few of the prison visits I went on. And so it just seemed like it was an overlooked area. And so that's why I was excited when Andre told me about his role. Just a couple of quick things, because I know you guys are from different backgrounds and I don't want to go on too long, but currently now, so I'm in a role now at a company called Real Leaders. We work with impact companies. These are folks who have social or environmental values that underpin their business. So I don't know, Ben and Jerry's might be one, or Patagonia. Andre would be, an example of that. Jeff, after having heard you, maybe, that might be a descriptor. And so I talk to like 10, 15 CEOs every week. And, they're looking for folks who have values that align with theirs, right? It can't just be anyone who wants to make a dollar. They have to have people who've been through experiences in life that make them look more deeply than just the dollar. And the other thing is that right now there's a desperate need for workers. Even though the numbers may not explain it, every CEO I talk to, and this is from around North America, generally are significantly at a disadvantage because they can't find qualified people quickly enough. And along with that, there's a trend I've started hearing more recently, and I heard a talk on it the other day. It's called the SANS-demic, S-A-N-S-demic. And what that means is there's going to be too much work and too few people over the next 2 to 3 decades. It's just the way the demographics are. And so as a result, companies are going to have to change the way they staff because they don't have enough, there won't be enough talent. So I only say that because maybe Sinetra, the work you do, the work Andre's doing, is it's significant because there's significant opportunity out there. And hand in glove with that is the fact that there are slowly opening attitudes to hiring folks from different backgrounds that there weren't when I was 25 years old, frankly. And I think that's fueled in large part by women and the millennial generation, so 25 to 34, who have got much more open points of view and perspectives than the generations before. So I just thought, what I see in Andre, and hopefully it's helpful for all of you, is that there is this great opportunity to match these wonderful individuals I've met and those who've been through such difficult times and learned life lessons with the growing number of opportunities if we can connect them quickly enough to the resources they need. And it's a race against time, frankly, especially if you only have $40 on a bus pass. But it's possible, and the way to do that is through technology. In my view, LinkedIn's one example, but ConConnect will be another. And so there's just this huge opportunity. I know it's, in some cases it might feel like it's a long battle, but I think things are going to change rapidly. And the last thing I'd say is that I just think there's not enough discussion in the media about the opportunities here. And I think that's certainly something I try to do in my own way and in my own work. And the word needs to get out. And while we're all familiar with it here, every day I run into people who aren't aware of the opportunity to hire formerly incarcerated people, have their own prejudices or biases, some of which may almost be unconscious. But the more that we can spread the word about this, the opportunities and the quality of people, the faster I think it'll happen. Jeff's example is a great one. We just need more of what Jeff is doing across many, many more companies. So, Andre, I'm happy to answer any other questions, but that was, my perspective on things. And I think I see Micah and Donna and Terrell on as well. Just give a shout out to them since they're a part of the journey as well. But that's it for now, Andre. Great work. And it's great to see, I've been reading up on some of you over LinkedIn. So I see the good people who are on doing lots of good work. So thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, Peter. And shout out to Micah, Donna. Terrell's going to speak next. I didn't know you guys were in the room. And yeah, definitely thank you, Peter. So I'm introducing Terrell next, but again, Terrell's that's another soft spotlight Peter to me. He's that's the person who recruited me, right? That's the job, right? When somebody comes home from prison, you got to get recruited by the reentry organizations. There he is. So I mean, that's the person who he talked that talk. The organization, they say you got to talk that talk to get in these guys there because it's tough, right? Because I mean, I could have told him, no, I ain't trying to do this. I'm going to go to the block and do something else. And I'm sure Terrell, I'm sure you heard it. You've heard it before. You heard dudes say it's just not what they're going to do. But Terrell had the gift of gab, man, and he got me from when I was in the jail on work release. He had me hooked, but it's just that, like I told you guys earlier, Terrell knew the story. I went back to prison because I said, I'm gonna go sell drugs. Then when I got back out, Terrell made it, he told me he had something sweeter for me. He told me he's gonna help me with my business. He's gonna give me a free laptop. They're gonna give me this. They're gonna get me right, which is, that's what I wanted to hear when I got home. It was a lot. He spoke to me the way I needed to be spoken to, and from there it was just like,
baby.
Where do I sign the paper? Where do I sign the paper at? And yeah, man, that's how that all started. But more than that, Terrell, what he's been for me, he's been the person through the whole time I've been home. Just maybe about 6 months ago when I really, started taking on a lot more executive coaching. But just up to 6 months ago, Terrell's been, that's been my coach. That's been my reentry mentor. Again, I'll say it again, just been home 2.5 years. That's been the person who's been talking to me, pointing me in this direction, telling me to go here, introducing me to people like Peter, introducing me to people like Micah and Donna who are in attendance. All these people who have helped me to this day grow the platform and meet the developers for the platform, or just help me get into accelerators. Donna really, not to get off you, Terrell, but the latest accelerator that accepted me was the Center for Black Innovation. They're based in Miami, and what they did for me was they gave me a headquarters in Miami. They introduced me to investors. They changed a lot of things for me for ConConnect, and it was Donna who told me about this. Hey, go fill this application out. She sent it to me. I filled the application out. I was like, you know what? It's late. The deadline's midnight. They want a 4-minute video. My laptop's at work. I don't got it. But I did it, and I got approved a week later. And I think I told you, Don, I got approved and I got in. I just graduated from the accelerator about 2 weeks ago. Just came back from a big Miami mansion party. Had a fun time. Pitched to some investors pitched to investors on the water with boats behind me and at a mansion. I just came home from prison 2 years ago. This is surreal, for me. And these are the people that's like making this stuff really happen for me. And just wanted to let you know that, Donna, that experience was amazing for me. And, you're a big part of that. Actually, you are the part of that. But the person I'm going to bring up now is I'm going to bring up Terrell to speak to you guys and let him tell you about his experience in reentry and, how it's been for him.
All right, thank you, Andre. That was a great Terrell story, right? But you left out the Andre part. So the part that he didn't tell you guys was after we left the building, I don't know where, like this, I guess he came out of like a side door or something and ran us down, like, taking the personal information and gave a story and told us how important it was for him, to be a part of something like this. So you made my job a lot easier, Andre. Came in kicking the doors down. So I'm Terrell Hall. I work for Defy Ventures. I'm the Senior Program Manager of Reentry and Career Services. I've been with Defy for about 4.5 years. I am formerly incarcerated. I served 16.5 years state and fed time here in New York. I was released in 2015. Excuse me, I forget, because I'm just really fighting to put this behind me. I'm on life parole right now. And since I've been home, I've been, working not just for Defy. I used to work for another reentry organization called Fair Shake, co-founder of Reentry Essentials. So reentry has just always, been a part of my life. Prior to me coming home, for about probably last 8 to 10 years of my time, I did like the pre-release stuff, phase 3, and things of that nature. And that's what really made me realize that a change needed to be made. I would see guys go home. I would have them 90 days before they were set to go home. And then if they got violated, I was the first guy that they would see on the way back in. And I saw so many brothers, because again, we're in a male prison. I saw so many brothers coming back, and nobody could answer the questions directly as to why they came back. It was always like this other person or a situation, that they would, shift the blame to. And then, so I also realized a lot of what they were given in terms of resources to assist them on their way out the door was like outdated. Was lucky enough to have a supervisor that would, reach out to the outside and kind of verify resources. And 90% of the resources were like old resources. And these were the resource packets that they were sending people back into, the world with after serving 25 years, some of these people, 30, 40 years, some of these people. And it was just, mind boggling. You would think it would be easy to come and say, okay, this is a problem. And that, they being that it's a correctional facility, that they would try to fix it. That was not the case. And that was like, not that I ever trusted the system per se, but I just thought that, once you get on a certain track, a difference could be made. That there was some effective stuff along the lines. So a little bit more about my journey. I was lucky enough to make some connections on the inside. Again, that I had a position waiting for me. I was released to a halfway house where I had to spend 9 months. That's when I encountered like my greatest issues. Like, I'm like working full time, going to school full time, 4 nights a week. I'm like doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm checking in when I'm supposed to. And it seemed like at every turn, there was an obstacle that they presented. Like, the people on the outside, my employers, the supporters, everyone else is trying to assist me. But the halfway house always found a way to try to hinder my progress. And I don't even know if it was intentional. It's almost like the system was designed that way, right? And but the biggest issue is parole for me. And I think that, we've all become statistics, 008, 1500, 104, 96, 021, numbers that will haunt me for the rest of my life. Those are my DEN number and my federal ID number, right? And they don't recognize me as Terrell Hall. I am those numbers in that system. And I think parole is a part of that system where it's just statistics. And I myself, again, I can go on and on about the things that I've done since I've been home, and just, not just working and going to school, but community work, all types of like really positive stuff. And so I have life parole. And parole, somehow my paperwork went before the board in Albany for, to kind of let me off parole. I had no idea that this was happening. I started to ask questions and was threatened with incarceration for simply asking questions. And this is a person that they said they had never seen anyone excel on parole the way that I have. And yet they found fit to violate me for a technical parole violation. This was 2019, I believe, where they sat me down in jail for 28 days on a technical violation that the parole officer is telling me that he didn't want to take me in for, right? So a major flaw in the system is that the system is designed to kind of, keep us, right where we are. And if we're honestly looking at it, when you think about, the time that the system was designed and the people that designed it and all those different things, it's created to keep us right where we are. And I think that what Andre has done here is create a platform to rehumanize statistics, to put, the people back in place of the numbers, right? So you have, say for an employee, they have an opportunity to really see to vet a person's character, outside of even before it's even an official, job interview or any of that. They really get to really see what type of people are coming out of prison, right? Which I think is really important. So, when I hear Davon speak and, Andre and, Skip, I see you, Skip, and these really amazing people, right? That had I not been working in the position that I'm working, I would never known that, right? And now if I go and look at their rap sheets, then maybe, I wouldn't have, that same opinion if it was strictly based on that. So I think the biggest value prop for me is again, rehumanizing statistics and giving people a chance to see that these are real people coming home. And they're not, just, the sum of their mistakes in the past. People make mistakes all the time. So I think that's the biggest value prop for me. And I just love what you're doing, brother. And I love that, again, the opportunity for community, for you to meet people like Peter and give you a chance to develop social capital. Something that, you didn't have a chance right out the gate, right? We're talking about, you're from an underserved community. So just creating opportunities like that. And I think that over time, the reentry organizations that we have, I know here in New York or in the tri-state area, they're not sufficient, right? And you go in here and the most you can expect is a Metro card and maybe a construction job and some OSHA training, right? But we have some people with education and experience that are not given opportunities, right? So people being able to see their character, and get to hear from this person and see that this person, who this person really is outside of, their criminal histories is how we do this. It's how we create that paradigm shift within reentry and really get people on board with supporting people and thinking outside of the box. We need more people to think outside of sending people to construction jobs and, just in the back of the house, work in the kitchen and those types of jobs. And I think that was the first thing you alluded to, Andre, when you talked about ConConnect, because you felt like that was a major issue, and I agree. So I just think that I love what you're doing, and I think that's the biggest value prop, to bring so many, great like-minded people together to collaboratively collaboratively work towards a solution. So thank you for this, brother. Thank you all. Thank you all for your offerings.
Yeah, thank you, Terrell. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for everybody who's speaking. And Skip, I'm gonna get to you because we got a couple minutes before I want to go on everything else. So talk to me, Skip. What's up?
Listen, my brother, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything you've done. I didn't even know you were a Defy graduate, as am I. As am I. Big shout out to Terrell, Lionel, Jason. You know, the thing is that we come home and we get lost. People don't see us for who we are, for what we can do. They don't value us. So we got people like you and me coming up and we're being unapologetic and we're looking at the world and saying, you're going to see me, you're going to value me, you're going to value my worth, and you're going to allow me to fix what's broken because y'all can. At the end of the day, the system is broken. There is nothing out there for people coming through re-entry. It's up to us. It's up to us, those who have been there, those who have fought the fight and came home to make it better for those coming behind us. So I want to thank you for everything you're doing. I'm in the midst of building a new nonprofit myself. I've already signed up with you with my agency, my 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? It's people like you that's going to do incredible things. Remember, we don't have to beg for a seat at the table anymore. We are the table. Come sit with us. Thank you for letting me speak, my brother. Shout out to you, Cardell, and Champ, my co-worker. Hi, Champ.
What's going on, Skip? Happy to see you on the call too.
That's good. I didn't even know you guys work together. Look at that. All right, but yeah, just to keep things flowing along, so we're on time for Q&A and everything. So to give you guys the ConConnect walkthrough and update part of this is, right, we are right now, literally about while we were just talking, while Terrell was just talking, we just went live, right? ConConnect just went live. We just went live for our news feed and for our community aspect, meaning you can now go onto ConConnect. The onboarding process is live for anybody who's listed as a connection, meaning connection is an employer, nonprofit, reentry, federal agency, state agency, anybody willing to help the formerly incarcerated. You're now able to you're now able to jump on the ConConnect, sign up as a connection, complete the onboarding process, so that way we can know more about you and on your news feed, get those individuals who cater towards the services you need showing up on your platform. You're going to be able to get on ConConnect, post onto the news feed, introduce yourself, and post what you would post if you were just on LinkedIn. Post your services. And what we're going to do now for the next 4 weeks is week by week, we're going to release a feature every week for the next 4 weeks, closing out July into the first week of August. And I'm going to go and share my screen and give you guys better visual. I'm pretty sure you guys can all see my screening. I see that we got people posting by the second. I'm pretty sure these are some of you individuals that are in here, but let's just go through it like this. When an individual is, before they even see the screen, an individual like you guys, some of you, most of you have already done, just let you know, we have over 1,500 users, and that's just New York City, right? We are in 17 states right now, meaning for us to say we're in these 17 states, we have more than 10 nonprofits in that state, and we feel confident when individuals come home in that state, they're going to find services on ConConnect. Today, we decided to launch our news feed to make sure that, because we wanted to get closer to you guys, we wanted to have that community aspect. We wanted to be able to say, you know what, let's launch the community now. Let's get people following these organizations. Let's get the organizations partnering with each other and following each other. And week by week, we're going to start over. And this week, we're going to release our job feature for employers to be able to go on and post all their jobs. They're going to be able to click on that, post all your jobs. For all the employers that are in this platform right now, when you go on as a connection, you're going to already be told, you're going to already have an email there that's going to show you how to post your jobs. We're really here to talk about for a formerly incarcerated individual getting on this platform. The first thing they're going to see is jobs, courses, services. So instead of them scrolling down the news feed and having to look for different organizations that are offering services or just finding a community, they're going to be able to click on jobs and see jobs closest to them. They're going to be able to search through all these jobs and not just jobs. In this job category, they're going to be able to find apprentice programs, anything that will link them to a job, whether it's a schooling with job at the end, whether it's a program with a job at the end, whether it's a reentry saying 4 week, get this job at the end, or whether it's just a direct job, right? We're already partnered with companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and like Terrell said, I came home saying I did not grow up wanting to be on the back of a garbage truck. I did not grow up telling myself I wanted to be a construction worker. And I'm not saying that these are bad jobs, right? But these are the jobs that I didn't grow up wanting to be. So these are not the jobs that I go pushing for to get on ConConnect, right? I work really hard to make sure that I get these jobs that pay something that are worthwhile, right? And again, because I know formerly incarcerated individuals are not all coming home with the education that I might have had, or that Devon had, or that the Bar Prison Initiative is offering, or that these higher education places are offering, we have courses, right? So when these individuals click on courses, it's gonna bring them to a whole e-learning system that we just started building with Verizon. And what we're doing with Verizon is we're building a whole e-learning system that's going to be all online. And how we built this was partnering with 10 universities nationwide right now, getting all their college courses, their GED courses, and then having Devon, other formerly incarcerated people, other reentry leaders, other employers build courses on how to, whether it's a course for the formerly incarcerated person to be professionally developed, personal developed, or whether that course is for a reentry leader to get, have him better understand or her better understand how to run their reentry organization. So again, these courses are going to be able to, as you, Helen, being a reentry leader, you'll be able to go on here. You'll be able to look at courses and see courses taught from other reentry leaders on how you can better run your nonprofit, how you can scale it, how you can grow it, how these other places, how these reentry leaders in Arizona, Texas, how they're running it. These are our partners that we're using for courses. For services. When they click on services, they're going to see Divide. They're going to see Exodus. They're going to see all our partners in Connecticut, right? Because in Connecticut, Connecticut's one of the most organized state that I've ever seen when it comes to reentry. And I've seen a lot of states, and they're pretty organized. And you're going to see reentry services nationwide when they click on services. And all they're going to have to do is click on it. And all that's going to do is send whoever posted that service an instant message that somebody needs them. And that's how quick this is going to be, right? Week by week, we're going to release jobs. In another exactly 7 days, we're releasing courses. And in exactly another 7 days, we're releasing services. And each week, we're going to send out the whole layout via email, how we've already been in contact. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to keep building ConConnect. Again, like I told you guys, so we're partnered with Verizon right now. We're partnered with the Center for Black Innovation, and we're partnered with Queens Tech Incubator. And we've just got an official partnership with Westchester County government. All these partners are coming together to build out this platform and give us a brilliant tech space. This is just a beta version that we are releasing. 2-3 months down the line, ConConnect is going to be everything that we needed, because through this process, we're going to count on all of you in this group to give us back feedback, to give us everything that you need, to tell us the features that you love, to tell us the features that you didn't feel were the best. And we're going to give you this free platform so we can get all this information and rebuild it. So that way, coming 2022, we'll be releasing ConConnect 1.0, and this will be the version that will rock the world. This will be the version that will definitely change reentry, which is why, as most of you know, I'm welcoming you to the future of reentry. I no longer want it to be that people are coming home. I wanted people come home, they go to parole, and when they come out of parole, they're not worried about that. Okay, they may be worried like, hey, I got $10 left, but they know they got that phone and they still got a chance. Not when that $10 runs out, that their chance for finding something is all screwed up. So that's what I wanted. That's how I want it to be. So I welcome all of you guys to get onto ConConnect now, complete your onboarding process, get on the network, start posting your services and newsfeed, follow the emails week by week, complete your service profile, complete your job profile if you're offering jobs. Take advantage of the courses we're building. These are brilliant courses. Courses is going to be on a separate platform as well, so you don't have to just come to ConConnect for it. We're building this out as concourses.education, and it's already live for you to enroll early. And again, we're building this out with Verizon. This is going to be a brilliant and beautiful platform, ed tech for formerly incarcerated people, reentry leaders, and employers. Another platform recently just came up with this, and we're now building that. And this is going to come out. We're already we're going to be pushing this in the next 2-3 months. So again, I always want to let you guys, I want to be as close as possible, which is why I write you guys these emails directly. I let you know what we're doing, the data that we're going to be collecting. how ConConnect is always going to work to advance the reentry organization, and again, how we're going to advance you reentry leaders to make sure you guys can do your job better, use technology, make your job easier, because we need you, right? We love you guys. We think about you guys 6 months before we're coming home. We're reading the connections book in prison. We're reading those folders like, all right, this person got this organization got this. So we know the importance. But better yet, now we're smarter. Now we're using technology and data to make this job a whole lot easier. So before going into Q&A, I want to let you guys know we're making a movie right now, real short movie. We pitched to New York State Parole. We're in the door. We're just finalizing everything. So when people come home, we're gonna have these posters that are gonna be in parole. I think I've sent it out to all of you guys already via email, but we have posters that are gonna now be in parole, which I think somebody put in the chat. It's gonna have the QR code so they can scan it and bring them right to ConConnect. And because we know our brothers that do 20, 15, 25 years are still coming home, it's gonna have real simple instructions with graphics showing them how to get to their browser and get onto ConConnect.com. These are gonna be in parole in every state that we build that partnership with. And how we, usually when you go to parole, how it is, you go to parole, you see parole, they tell you, you had this crime, Mr. Pitt, you had a violent crime, meaning that comes with anger management, blah, and all these other things. And when you ask them, okay, can you have any further help for me? Believe it or not, it's a piece of paper coming right behind that question. The answer will be a piece of paper that will have the websites and stuff on it that you need to do. What we've done what we made the other day was, we've asked a couple people say, hey, we want to pitch parole. We want to make our pitch of parole a lot more powerful. And we just want to make sure that they're really getting the picture of what we're doing. So right now, what we're doing is we're building a 5 to 10 minute movie to show them what a person goes through within that first 48 hours, of parole. And what we want to show parole is how it should be when a person comes home from prison. And Champ, let me know, what are you seeing on my screen right now? Are you seeing a black video?
No, I don't.
Okay, let me make sure my screen is, okay, let me stop my share and then share again. Are we good now?
Now we see it.
All right, so I'm gonna go in through this with this quickly. Let me make sure mine is up. Okay, I'm gonna turn mine so this plays pretty clear. So this is just gonna be this is a minute and 30-second video. It's a short skit of what we're presenting to parole. So far, New York State has gotten this. New York State, New Jersey, we've sent it to Connecticut, Florida, and Vermont, and 2 other states. So already about 7, 8 different states we've already sent this presentation to. So I'm just gonna start it and go on from here. And I hope you guys like it. And of course, the moment that this is finally all produced, a 10-minute video, you guys will see it first via email before this is released to any social network.
You home, kid?
Question is, anything that can help me like find a job, like find these range programs, I really don't know. Life I need to get to these places.
Yes, I do. It's called ConConnect. It's a social networking platform for men like yourself.
So if you guys are wondering how we sweeten the deal with parole, we use video. That's how we did that. And we're working on a lot more content. We're working on producing a lot more videos that look like that to get the story across. We know we're in a different time. This is 2021, and we're not in the old days anymore. We need to show the way of how people are really coming home from prison and how it really looks now. And only when we start keeping up with the trend will we be able to change that, right? Reentry is a trend. Reentry is an industry, whether people like it or not. This is an industry, and every industry is. Can we mute yourself, please? Every industry is advancing themselves, whether they're trying to advance themselves to, again, make more money, whether they're advancing themselves to increase bottom line or solve an issue. They're using technology. And it's not going to be until we use technology that we advance as reentry industry. And I see a lot of questions in the chat from when this first started, and that's really what I want to get into. I think one of the first questions that I wanted to answer, if you're still here, was from Jason. You had it's basically gonna go into what I was gonna talk about. So instead of me speaking about it, rather you ask your question and we go into it. So Jason Wang, if you're still in here, just give me a shout. If not, I'll answer your question without you here. Jason, you in here?
Hey, can you hear me?
There you go, bro. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's good, buddy? Real quick, just got done with my sentence about 4 years ago. Defi graduate, now I'm founder and CEO of Free World. My question for you is, what is the most mission critical milestone for a company? And outside of the audience members signing up on ConConnect, what can we do to help you?
Okay. And Jason, that first question is, what's ConConnect's most mission critical goal, right?
That's correct.
All right. So yeah, that's exactly why I said your question was good. So mission, our overall vision at ConConnect is within 5 years, we really believe with this technology and reentry being the industry it is, our overall mission is to cut recidivism in half. That over 50% recidivism rate of people going back to jail nationally within 8 months to a year, it's disgusting. And I see every point that it's going to take technology to bring that number down and down and down. And how we're going to do that is there's 1.7 million nonprofits in the U.S. We got some data that a little bit under a third are considered reentry organizations or have some type of service that can be offered to the formerly incarcerated. And if we look at that number, that's about 500,000 organizations, right? Really ambitious goal, but that's my goal. 5-year goal. Get these organizations, keep the same way we're doing now, keep building up through word of mouth, keep connecting, right? ConConnect, keep connecting. You guys are going to leave this call today and speak to other people that didn't know about ConConnect. They're going to sign up and speak to somebody else, and this is just going to keep on growing. So our bottom line here is to reduce recidivism on a national scale, and how we're going to do that is just bring in reentry closer. My biggest thing is reentries need to work closer with each other. They need to not look at each other like competitors. This is not Macy's and Sears. They need to look at each other like friends, because you're not charging me for the services when I come there. You're not charging me. So it's not like I'm going to go to another service provider because it's cheaper, because it's all free. I just need to know who's really there to help me. And I need to know that if I come to you and you're missing the service that I need, you're going to not hesitate to refer me instantly, right? So Jason, if that answers your question, our bottom line is to reduce recidivism within 5 years by half, use our technology to do that, and really do that by getting these nonprofits really on board and working more closely together and using our features to expand their overall mission. Because our overall mission is making sure that they're good.
Andre, my mentor from Australia, want to ask you a question. His name is Lucas.
Yeah, we're doing Q&A now too. That's good. Lucas, what's going on?
Hey, thank you guys for what you're doing. You guys are amazing over there, and it's great to hear this sort of thing happening. And hello to Skip and hello to the rest of the crew that I've spent a lot of time with. Hey, I'm really keen on expanding this thing and trying to see if we can get something rolling like this internationally. Andre, what does that look like for you business-wise, man? If you've got, you're looking at selecting some people in different areas, for example, Europe or Asia or Australia, and looking to expand this thing geographically specific, or what's your thoughts?
So yeah, Lucas, to get straight into that, like I told everybody else, my background is I'm from London. My family for generations has been in England on my father's side. My brother, rest in peace, was a district attorney over there. Was also head of parole. Me and him are on two totally different sides of the ball game. So I have a 3-year in our 5-year plan. By year 3, we'll be an app already. We'll be in the App Store, Google Play Store by year 3, and we also plan to expand to the UK and other places. So expand to the UK, London, England, and expand to other places where we see the highest incarceration and release rate, the same way we did in the US by year 3.
Fantastic, fantastic. Hey, keep Australia in mind, man. And we've got a big challenge here with Indigenous people having released and having similar issues. So we'd love to pick your mind about how that could roll and what we could potentially do here. Thank you. You're doing God's work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. And before we go into the next question, Jason, if you can still hear me, that last thing you said, how can you help me? Word of mouth, brother. Just we're formerly incarcerated people. Just tell the next formerly incarcerated person. And if you know reentry people, just tell them. I mean, that's the biggest help there. And we're gonna go on for the next. We're going in for more Q&A. Any other questions? Helen, I see you got your hand up. You got your hand up again, or was that just from before?
No, my bad. I never put it down. Thank you again.
Okay, Norman. What's going on, Norman?
Oh, I'm sorry. I raised my hand by mistake. I'm sorry.
All right, you're all good? Okay, do we got any more questions going across the room before I pass it to Devon? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. So what I'm going to do now is basically, before we end this, I'm going to pass it to Devon, and I just want to have Devon give you his aspect on what he wants to see for the next 5 years. He's one of the first people that I've been able to basically bring on to ConConnect after being able to secure investment. He's basically going to be like the second hire. So just want him to give you, actually, before I go into you, Devon, before Devon gives you his future, what he sees for the future of ConConnect and for the future of reentry, want to get a question, make sure we answer all the questions. What's up, Amanda?
So I guess it's not so much a question, but I'm curious. You said that you think Connecticut is organized. I'm in Connecticut. I went through this system. I was a single mom. I was pregnant, dealing with stuff, and it was, excuse my language, but a shit show. So I'm hoping that, your program you've got here is actually going to give people an opportunity beyond the organizations and everything. What about giving an opportunity? Like, I just recently got my recovery coach certification, and I'm trying to find how to help people and without getting into an actual organization, because people are like, oh, well, you didn't go to school or have your bachelor's or associates or anything. Are you thinking you could branch into that also? Because when going through recovery, having an opportunity to find people like that can be that connection when you need them would be, I think, another, opportunity to add to what you're already doing. It's got an incredible base, and I think it could expand it to another level of helpfulness.
Yeah, to answer your question, Amanda, you and me, same thing. I want to do everything I can do for you. So what I've already done for you is we have mentors that are going to, so other than the companies and the organizations, right, whether you wanted to be a mentor, there's other individuals that are going to be on there that you'll be able to go to for one-on-one to ask them to be a mentor. So that's going to be another feature. They'll be able to pick up to 3 people like me and you and mentor us, right? They'll be able to have up to 3 people like me and you, or you'll be able to mentor other people. So you'll be able to find mentors on there. You'll be able, right? This is only the beginning for us. We're going to make this, forget a program, right? And think of that, right? When you think app, you think technology, you think a lot bigger. So we'll have mentors for you other than jobs. It won't just be organizations. We're already thinking of a lot more things that we know people are going to need, right? I went through the struggles. I always try to go back to what I need. And I also always talk to formerly incarcerated people like me next time. What did you need? Because my story and your struggle is going to be different. So you telling me that? I've spoken to hundreds of people and they said, hey, that's what we need. And that's what we're building now. So now we're building a place for mentors just to get on and be able to mentor these individuals just digitally.
Yep. Awesome.
Before I speak, would anybody else like to ask any questions or add anything? Go right ahead, Gary. You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Amanda, there, I, I was in the commercial real estate business for 48 years, and my avocation after retirement last year is working in the restorative justice area. I've spoken with Andre on the phone before. I'm in Houston, but I can tell you, you can find some places to do work without the college degree. I don't know exactly. I'm putting my my LinkedIn comment in just a moment. Put my LinkedIn address, and if you're not on LinkedIn, for you folks, I mean, Facebook's a great thing, but if you want to deal in a little bit more professional environment, sign up on LinkedIn and connect with a lot of people, which I've done to build my reentry group. And I'll be glad to visit with you further about that, Amanda, if you like. I just wanted to say that I don't, at some places, a college degree would make a difference, but not at a ton of them, because a ton of them are looking for people that have street cred, not college degrees.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
All right, I want to leave room and space for anyone else before I close out myself. All right, I kind of want to pivot, but also incorporate Amanda's frustration. It is very frustrating. There's a lot of inequities that are taking place currently in the educational system, especially around those who are formerly incarcerated or currently incarcerated. Thank you, by the way. The reason why your frustration is welcomed here at ConConnect is because you share the same frustration as everyone else, right? How does someone, we're removing your experiences, right? How does anyone who served more than 10 plus years, who worked their way up from a GED in prison or in jail all the way up to a master's degree, they are released and they are technically qualified for a director's position or even managerial, right? And their barrier and their boundary may not be a felony or their arrest record. It may be because they don't have the experience, but they have the degree. And it kind of works in vice versa too. You have the experience, but you don't have the degree, right? I fall into the same category. And I want to share my sentiments with you, especially because that's why I joined ConConnect. That's why I'm a part of this and so many other initiatives. Because when you connect and you reach out, there are people, even in the chat right now, who are looking for someone like you. Connecticut is messed up, and your experience around that is very important. So if you connect with those who are willing to hear your story and share your experiences and really look for that work ethic, don't get frustrated. Get to work. Get to work. And I encourage everyone to hear and let her frustrations with lack of employment, lack of being able to be the person to do something about it. And if you are an employer on this call, she seems like somebody who's fired up and ready to go and actually do something and make a change. So I'm advocating on her behalf. This also goes for anyone else on this call. I've seen a lot of people sent out their LinkedIns. I'm also going through mine and seeing all of the requests being made, and I really do appreciate y'all. What I want to say that is so needed and helpful throughout this entire call is equity, right? If you are an executive level, or if you are in an executive level position, we encourage you to sign up. If you would like to connect with other individuals who are at just an entry level position, this is also a great place to meet up as well. There should be no form of disconnect, Did you talk to this person? Did you talk to that person? If you are able to make change, be the change. You are placed in that position for a reason. So I want to let everyone know that ConConnect is here to be that same change. Bring your frustrations, bring your experiences, bring your diversity, bring the equity we seek to have across the board. Please join us. Hope to continue to connect. And I look forward to connecting with every last one of y'all as often as possible. Again, you can definitely reach out to me. I'll put my LinkedIn one last time. Message me. I'm willing to connect and see how we can expand our resources to one another. And I'll also attach my email as well. But outside of that, Andre, we did it, man. We're doing it.
Yeah. And, like I said, that's pretty much it, folks. Just want to let you know one last thing. We will be hosting, we know a lot of states do a reentry meeting, and then some counties do a reentry meeting. We're going to host, ConConnect is going to sponsor a national reentry meeting where we'll meet with as many of our organizational partners as much as we can every 3 months, 4 times a year. And we'll try to keep making it more and more to when we are big enough to where we can have monthly meetings and have over 300 to 500 to thousands of organizations just like tonight, where we speak about how we're battling reentry, how we need to be battling it, and how we can battle it better. So that is a future meetings that we'll be able to keep in the next 3 to 6 months. Those will start in about 3 months. And again, I invite you all today. ConConnect is now live for the news feed aspect. Every week we will release a feature for you guys. Keep up with the emails. Tell your friends about it. Tell as many justice impacted individuals about it. I did this for you guys, man. I brought Devon on because he has the experience. He is one of you guys, and he's gonna help me do this better for you guys. And we're gonna do this, and we're just gonna keep on building. And this is just not gonna stop unless they close prisons. Then they can close ConConnect. But we're here for you guys. We hosted this meeting to meet you guys and let you guys know we're here. And all we ask is that you leave tonight. You go into ConConnect. You post your services, post who you are, and just tell a friend and tell a friend. And thank you guys for coming. It's all love. We appreciate you guys here at ConConnect. And we'll see you guys on the network.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andre. Thanks, Champ.
Thank you, all you guys. This is Shanette. I'm sorry I didn't have my camera on, but I have listened to everything, and you guys are awesome. Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you're doing. Love it.
Thank you.
Everybody have a safe and good night.
You too.
Andre, I'm gonna stay on, all right?
All right. Yeah, I'm staying on.
Hey, good work, bro. Andre.
Yo, who that? Aaron?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Doing your thing, bro.
Yo, how you?
Doing your thing. Yes, sir, man. I love it, man. Love it. Hey, what's up, Devon? How you doing, man?
What's going on, bro?
Put you on my newsletter earlier. It's going out Friday, man.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I dropped it in the in our email thing.
Ian, I see you held it down. Yeah, I got it early this morning. I said, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, let's stay in tune though, definitely.
No, yeah, we doing this, man. This is one. You ready not?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Hey man, you definitely inspired and motivated me, man. You on the rocket, man. Going to that moon.
I'm trying to go there.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, when y'all coming to Illinois?
Yeah, we gotta get out there, man. I know. We gotta get out there.
It's like 40,000, I think 40 or 50,000 deep here, man. The population as far as inmates.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, we out there, then we gotta come out there. I mean, I gotta come out there physically. We're in Chicago though.
Oh, y'all are?
Yeah. We just don't got it's not super.
Continue, Andre, just hit stop record. Just so the whole conversation is.
Yeah.
Just hit stop record real quick.